Well, it's been a week since we planted cucumbers, and I'm going to plant some more of the same type on the other side of this fence, mainly because I forgot to do it last week. And it's been over a week, and this fence is not as long as the garden is wide, so we run into this from time to time. And I put this little wire fence up here, and you can just, on the bottom row, just cut it off right there, and you'll have all these. And then you can rake back the leaves that are there, and you can put this on the end of your row in the center and just push it down in the ground. Then I will rake back all this stuff. I'll pull my little hole around here and drop the seeds in it. You'd be surprised how many cucumbers you can get off one little piece of fence like this. It's maybe 20 couple inches in diameter. Now I have to pull the leaves back off of these beds before I drag my little planting hoe down through here, because when the seed comes up, if it has a nice sized leaf over top of it, it won't be able to make contact with the sun. Like over here is a little cleaner. And I'm going to plant both sides of these. What you should do is plant in the center of the row, both sides on one section, and then wait a week and do these both sides, and then those, and then the ends, so you'll have them staggered over a month. And the other day when I was doing all this, I should have put this on both sides, and this week I'd be doing both of these. And the reason I'm doing them within a week instead of waiting maybe 10 days is I don't want those plants to shade those plants so they'll grow. If you were to plant these a month later after these are way up, the ones on the other side from the sun would never get enough light, and the ones you planted first would shade them so bad that it was not worth planting the seeds. Now I got to put my peppers in the ground, and these marigolds. I just want to show you the stems on these Romas. See how they're rooting out? That's why if you plant that in the ground, all that will become roots. It's trying to root just in the air. And you know they've been in there a long time. See, here's another one. All the roots it's trying to put out. So these, remember, are planted with 7 to 8 inches of root in the carton and 7 or 8 inches of stem that's going to root. So that's why you have to have 8-foot tall stakes to hold them, and you get a lot of tomatoes. And the recurring theme in my garden is my wife is pulling weeds. There's my bride hard at work. We did plant this final row of Rutgers, a few Rutgers and some Romas. Now the problem is I didn't have as many Romas to plant in the milk cartons, but I had these 4 in 6-packs, and I'm going to mark each one of these posts just to see the difference between a seed that was planted on the 21st of March that was transplanted a month later into a milk carton is that big. If left in the 6-pack, it's that big. Now the stems were all trying to root in that 6-pack, but we want to see whether or not the difference in production between using them straight out of a 6-pack and using them out of a half-gallon milk carton. About 3 weeks ago I started plowing these leaves under, and the fertilizer and the lime. I have probably gone through the row in front of the rear tine plow there, rear tine tiller, 12 times. You know, pass up, pass back 2 times, you know, up and back is 2. And I want to plant some stuff today. I'm going to plant some peppers in this row, and that row right there is too hard to plant anything in because the sun for the last week or so, we haven't had much, but we had nothing but rain. Now we've got nothing but sun, so the top 2 or 3 inches of that soil is too hard and dry to plant anything in. You need to turn some of these nutrients up into the top so that your plant will get something to get a hold of, especially when you plant seeds. I'm going to put peppers in that row and okra in that row, although I might wait to plant the okra because next week's supposed to be cool and they really like it hot. And then the next row is going to have squash in it. So to plant a seed in that, I could dig a furrow down through there, but all the nutrients are baked This stuff has had 90-degree sun on it for 4 or 5 days, and there won't be anything for the seed to grab a hold of. Where see how fertile this soil is since I have tilled it and run down through it 4 times, 2 passes each. And now I can plant pepper plants in that, and I've got 6 inches of loose soil for the roots to go out into. And I can plant my seeds in that row when it looks like this, and the seed will have plenty of material to go into when it comes out to seed, the roots, and the plant will thrive. But if I planted it in that right now, they would be poor plants from the start. And if you start with good seeds and poor plants, you're going to have poor plants all year. They're going to get diseases. They're not going to stand dry conditions. You need to plow it and plant it. Farmers do not plow their fields and come back and plant it weeks and weeks later after the soil's gotten hard again. They do it all at one time.